Opening hooks that grab readers. I'm Karen Beery with Right Now Editing, where we turn good manuscripts into great books.
And I'm Peg Thomas, multi-award winning author and editor, and we are two editors for 5 minutes.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit about opening lines, opening pages, and opening chapters. But first, I'm going to start our timer.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
we're going to try to stick to 5 minutes.
And did you know, Karen, did you know that you should have an opening line in each chapter? Not just the beginning of the book, but each chapter.
But let's just start with the opening
Okay.
to get people started. The first page, because that first line and that first chapter, how do we want to get readers into the book? And I'm going to start, first of all, by with an example of what not to do. And nothing pulls me, actually, nothing makes me put down a book faster than false promises. So I picked up a rom-com, and it's a rom-com. I know it's a rom-com. And it opens with the character like panicking about imminent death. And I'm like, wait a sec. So I like check the cover again, and the character is like panicking, and then you find out it's because there's a bee there. And you're like, oh my gosh, she's allergic to bees. No, the character's not even allergic to bees. She's thinking about what if she was allergic to bees, then this would be a deadly situation. I was out because I felt so manipulated in that situation. I'm looking for a rom-com. It's starting with imminent death, but it's not even imminent death. It's just melodrama used to capture my attention. Now, there will be some readers who will forgive that and move on. I am not one of those readers. I want a hook that fits the genre, fits the story, and fits the character who's in that opening scene. It's very
Yeah.
possible that that character was melodramatic and just blew everything out of proportion. I'm not sure that's a character I want to read. Anyway, um, but Peg, what actually makes for a good opening line?
I personally think you need to either have an intense situation, which they did in that. It just didn't fit the genre. Um, an intense situation, action that starts off the story, or an unforgettable character. Those are, I think, are the three best. When I think unforgettable character, think like The Hobbit. We meet Bilbo Baggins. Okay, I was sucked in right there. There's different ones you can find with action. Action isn't always movement. I mean, action can be emotional. It can be anything that's got movement to the story right at the beginning, or an intense situation. So those are three that will usually do a good job of. What you don't want is the opening scene is somebody opens their eyes in the morning and the sun is shining and coming in the window and the birds are singing outside and nobody cares. So you have to have something there that's going to spark their attention right away. It does not need to dominate the whole scene. There
And
needs to be
I
something that
actually, now I
sparks.
see my favorite opening. Now I can tell you, I know for a fact in the last 5 or 6 years, I've read over about 1,000 books because I track them on Goodreads. Well, a little longer than that. Um, of all of those books that I've read, there are only two books that I remember the opening lines for. So, for as much emphasis as we put on this, it does need to grab attention, but unless it's something spectacular, call me Ishmael. Don't worry too much about it. But the ones that have captured my attention are ones that make me think. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this right? So, one that I just loved was there was a boy in her bedroom because it's a her, but there's a boy. So I immediately wanted to find out, like, is she
Right.
concerned about this? So it kept me reading. The other was a book, and it started, I don't remember the characters' names. We're just going to call them Deb and John. And it said, it had always been Deb and John until it wasn't. Again, well, why wasn't it? What
Yeah.
happened? So it's not, so it can be
Well,
something thought provoking.
one of my favorites, and I'll tell you the truth, I cannot remember the title of the book, but the opening line was, "Once every year, my great aunt tried to kill me." I was in, you
So
know?
sometimes it's not, it's just the way that you play with the words. It's causing that
Yeah.
curiosity. So none of
But
those actually
that's
have
an
action.
intense situation. That's just throwing an intense situation out there right away. And then we met the character and found out he was a little odd and all sorts of things. But I had that intensity of, wow, okay. You know,
And Peg,
it was
this is
fun.
awesome. So for all of the good intentions that we have 4 seconds left of our five
Okay, remember
minutes.
you need opening lines also in your individual chapters. They don't have to be as intense, they don't have to be as attention grabbing, but they have to suck your reader in to keep reading. There we go.
We'll come back next week and finish this thought about the opening pages and opening chapters since we only covered opening lines today. So come back next week. Until then, I'm Karen Beery.
And I'm Peg Thomas, and we'll see you then.